Hi, welcome to Senior Savvy. I'm Jane Wells, your host for today's show. Senior Savvy is brought to you by the Oshkosh Senior Center, where it's our mission to enrich the quality of lives for adults ages 50 and older. You know, and oftentimes when I tell people where I work and I say, well, I work at the Senior Center, they say, well, I'm too young to go to the Senior Center. And I would just challenge that, and I would say, no matter your age, if you're anywhere over the age of 50, come on down and check us out and see what we have to offer, because you will be amazed at what all goes on at the Oshkosh Senior Center. So, you know, it's getting colder outside. We tend to stay in the house a little bit more. It's dark a lot earlier. It seems dark in the morning, hard to get up. And sometimes, you know, the lack of daylight or the lack of getting out or the lack of connection with other people can kind of weigh on us in a bit. And sometimes we need to talk that through with somebody. So my guest on today's show is Andrea Mitchell. Hi, Andrea. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Great. And Andrea, let's first tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to talk about what you do and services that you can offer to seniors.
Okay. Well, I work for Lutheran Social Services of Wisconsin and Upper Michigan, and I primarily do counseling with the older adult population, and some of that work is at the Oshkosh Senior Center. Sure. And really enjoy working with older adults.
So how did you get into older adults?
One of my first jobs out of college was doing some older adult programming, which involved doing counseling with older adults, as well as facilitating some volunteer programs that served older adults. I also did some caregiver programming for family caregivers, which often are older adults themselves, or they're serving older adults. And I just really enjoyed working with the population. Older adults have so much to offer, and wisdom and strength and experience, and it's just very enjoyable to work with them.
Right. But oftentimes, as we age, different things come up. Things change for us that either we didn't intend to or we're not exactly thrilled about. And some of those things are really hard to deal with, aren't they?
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about, okay, so your Lutheran Social Services, what does that have to do with the Oshkosh Senior Center? So if you want to just talk about our collaboration or our working together a little bit.
Okay, sure. Yeah, we have a great partnership with the Oshkosh Senior Center. We have a few different programs that we offer, including Adult Day Services, Senior Connection, and the Older Adult Counseling Program, which is my role. Right. It's just a really nice partnership. It helps having the services and the counseling available at the Senior Center makes the counseling more accessible for older adults. And many older adults are already comfortable coming to the Senior Center, perhaps more comfortable than maybe going to a typical mental health counseling clinic. So it helps break down some barriers as far as making people feel more comfortable. But it's been wonderful working with the Senior Center.
Great. And you actually have an office at the Senior Center, correct?
Yes.
And so why don't you explain a little bit about where your office is located and when you are actually at the Senior Center?
Okay. My office is in the North Building, and I work there on Fridays. Generally, I'll see clients from 9 a.m. to as late as 4 p.m. But yeah, it can be flexible as far as time of day, but Friday is the day that I'm there during the week.
Sure. And of course the North Building is the one that has all the fitness equipment and stuff like that, so sometimes it's easier to identify by what's going on within the building, because you used to be in the South Building, so and now you are in the North Building, of course, on Fridays. So what issues are you seeing seniors making appointments to come and see? I mean, how do you know when it's time to maybe get some help?
Okay. Well, and as far as some of the typical issues that people will come in with, depression, anxiety, grief and loss, caregiver stress are some of the most typical issues that we see. As far as knowing when it's time to come in, I usually say that if someone's symptoms are interfering significantly in their life, that's kind of one of the main things to pay attention to. And when that's the case, usually that's a sign to get more help.
Sure.
So, you know, if maybe someone with some depression issues is they're isolating themselves, or, you know, not calling family or friends like they used to, or they're not getting out and doing their volunteer work or going to church or things like that.
Or sleeping,
those are,
or change in the sleeping patterns, I think. And
exactly.
Like and so it really does take some self-monitoring if you're living alone to, you know, go, hey, you know, I'm just feeling off. And certainly I would think if your loved ones are saying to you, are you okay? And, you know, that might be a hint that perhaps it's time to get help. And do you find that older adults have a stigma about getting help, or are they beyond that and just realized, you know what, I need somebody to pull me through this part of it?
Mm-hmm. It depends. As far as the stigma of seeking mental health help,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, there are still stigmas out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably more difficult for the older adults. Some of our younger older adults, are kind of used to the idea of therapy and are comfortable with that.
Mm-hmm.
But the older adults definitely seem to still struggle with that stigma, which is why it's so nice to be at the senior center, because the older adult can feel more comfortable and they don't have to. No one has to know what they're coming to the senior center for.
Right.
If they'd like to keep that very private.
Exactly. And of course, some of the older adults are some of the people who are having the most change thrust upon them, whether, it's losing a loved one or housing situations or health situations, huge events in life,
Absolutely.
that everybody kind of needs some coaching through.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if you're young or old and things are happening. So if I'm an adult child and I have concerns about a parent, how do I get help for them? Is that something that you can help with?
Yes, definitely. Adult children or even a friend or a loved one of an older adult is welcome to call. I'll often help people over the phone and give them some resources, or we can talk about that individual getting counseling through our program.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's definitely something I can help with. And lots of times I'll encourage adult children or loved ones or friends to talk with their parents
Mm-hmm.
about their concerns or the symptoms that they're seeing or the changes that they're seeing. And like I said, I'm more than happy to help with resources or tell people a little more information about the counseling that I can provide to help that parent.
And I'm sure that if the parent felt more comfortable with their child coming with them that first time or whatever, that's an okay situation. Mm-hmm. So if somebody would like to get a hold of you, because you're at the Oshkosh Senior Center on Fridays, but that's not the only day of the week you work, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So where's your office, or what is the best way to reach you?
The best way to reach me would be via phone.
Mm-hmm.
The number is 920-225-1709. And that's definitely the best way to reach me.
Okay.
I do, like you had mentioned, I'm in the office at Oshkosh Senior Center on Fridays. I do work also at the Thompson Community Center in Appleton and the Fond du Lac Senior Center as well, providing older adult mental health counseling at those locations as well.
Mm-hmm.
But phone is definitely the best way to reach me.
So if a Friday didn't work out for somebody, they could certainly book another time and location with you.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what about paying for this, or how does that all work?
We do bill insurance when we can.
Okay.
And when we can't, we have a sliding fee scale that's based on income. We get some funding from United Way, which helps us support that sliding fee scale and helps us provide counseling to folks and helps eliminate some of those financial barriers. One of the challenges that older adults face is that many of them have Medicare, and oftentimes Medicare will not pay for a licensed professional counselor, which is the license that many of us have.
Okay.
So sometimes that can be a challenge, which again is one of the nice things about our program, that we can offer the counseling and we don't have to go through insurance, but we can still help it be affordable for clients.
Right. So it sounds like you've removed a lot of the barriers. One, by locating yourself at the senior center, of course. Like you said, who knows what anybody is coming through the door for. It could be to see you, it could be to see me, it could be to play ping pong, or or to learn a foreign language. Nobody knows. It sounds as though the financial barrier is removed, with the sliding fee scale, and you can adjust the payments and things like that. If they can't make it on Fridays, there's alternative times to reach you and try to book an appointment with you. You're welcome to have your child or somebody who's significant come with you at first to just kind of break the ice and things like that. So it sounds like you've really made it kind of easy for people, which is wonderful, which is really what we try to do, what it's all about. Yeah. So you also have something new starting at the Senior Center, a group that you're kind of facilitating. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, and it's their group discussions the first Friday of each month at 1 p.m. at the Senior Center at the South Building. We have a different topic each month, and it's open to anybody who would like to come in and learn about that topic. We've done a couple of these so far, and we've had some nice attendance at them. One of the topics was downsizing your treasures, which we probably all need help with.
Oh, exactly. And you know, this time of year, it seems like everybody is kind of cleaning and purging and things like that, and what to keep and what to get rid of, and very valuable. What are some of the other topics?
Other topics we have are how to talk with your loved ones, how to set healthy barriers with your loved ones. Let's see, what else have we discussed? How to take care of yourself during the holidays was our topic for December.
Very good.
So managing that holiday stress, or treating the winter blues, or managing some depressed mood or depression.
And so with the group discussions, do you just sit around in a circle, or you know, what's the feel of the room and that kind of?
We try to keep it a laid-back type of group. Yeah, generally just kind of sitting in a circle. Oftentimes I'll present some information on the topic first, and then we'll open it up to discussion, and everyone's welcome to share. I encourage people to share. It's a wonderful time to, you know, for example, with that topic of downsizing your treasures, if people to share things that they've done to accomplish that goal, or resources in the community that they've utilized to help reach that goal. So it's really, you know, everybody kind of helping everybody else out and sharing information, and it's a nice way to connect with people too.
Right, I would think that it is. It's very valuable to hear, you know, like you said, what resources somebody else has used, or what ideas they thought of, and how to navigate some of this stuff, because it is hard. It's a little tricky.
Yep.
Very good. So you have your counseling hours. You have the group discussions with Andrea, and you said that is going to be on the first Friday of every month at 1 o'clock.
Yes.
In the South Building. And in order to find out what that topic is for the month, do you know how they can do that?
The best way is looking in the newsletter, the Senior Center newsletter, or certainly by calling me. I'd be happy to share that as well.
Or if they have a recommendation for a topic of something they would like to hear about.
That would be great. I would love ideas and welcome ideas.
Very good, very good. Because sometimes, you know, we think we know what everyone would want to learn, but it's always good to have their input as well.
Definitely.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Andrea, for all your work that you do, because it is important to just once in a while have that somebody to talk to help through some of the transitions and the different things that go on in a person's life. And it's wonderful that you're there for seniors. So thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you very much.
Great. All right, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, you're going to meet our new fund developer at the Oshkosh Senior Center. See you in a bit.
Looking to give back to the community? Want to help fight hunger in the Oshkosh area? You can by donating food, your time, or your money. The Oshkosh Area Community Pantry needs faces to help with a wide variety of tasks. The pantry cannot do it without you. Visit us online at oacptoday.org. That's oacptoday.org.
There is a place where history is captured in time, where the voices of past generations still discuss the days of success, of love, hope, and joy. Timeless, playful,
welcome to my attic,
memorable. The Oshkosh Public Museum. Come for the sights, stay for the memories.
Welcome back to Senior Savvy. I'm excited to introduce my next guest because we have a new fund developer and marketing person at the Oshkosh Senior Center. So I would like to introduce Laura. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Jane.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Why don't you do your full name and tell us a little bit about yourself?
You were scared to say it, weren't you?
You know, in the moment, I actually was.
Laura Schwartzburg, and Fund Development and Marketing Coordinator for the Oshkosh Senior Center and the Parks Department. So I've been on board now for about a month, and a lot of people ask what that title means. And at the Oshkosh Senior Center, there's definitely a need for funds to support all of the wonderful things that happen. And so my primary role is to help inform the community about all the good things that are happening, all the opportunities that are available to them, either to attend, participate, but also to financially support or support through their gift of time and talents as a volunteer for some of our programming.
But isn't the Senior Center supported by the City of Oshkosh?
Actually, the city provides a little bit less than 50% of the annual budget, and then some of the funds are also supported by Winnebago County, and then about 40 or more % has to be fundraised through individual business, corporate support, foundation grants, fundraising events, and Friends of the Senior Center is a big part of that.
Yes, it sure is. And why don't you just quickly tell a little bit about the Friends of the Oshkosh Senior Center, as you know, it is January and we are, you know, looking for support.
Yeah, well, the wonderful thing about the Friends of the Oshkosh Senior Center is that there are hundreds of members, but primarily a board of advisors that is directly involved with supervising all of the efforts of fundraising of the Friends of the Oshkosh Senior Center. So they're a 501c3 entity, so they're able to take financial contributions, and donors are able to receive that charitable tax deduction for their support. And throughout the year, they have a number of different fundraising activities, from 50-50 raffles to a new upcoming murder mystery dinner.
We're going to talk about a little bit more about that in a short bit. But
they're hands-on volunteers at all of the fundraising events that they're developing, creating, and generating revenue for the Senior Center, including an endowment fund to make sure that we're able to continue to offer just a rich array of services for seniors in the Oshkosh community that not every community has.
No, I know. We're very lucky. So where is your office located now, and how is a person to get a hold of you if they would like to talk to you about something?
Sure. My office is located in the South Building. You can email me at L Schwartzburg, SCHWARTZBURG. Don't add like the ER or extra letters, but email at ci.oshkosh.wi.us or call me over at the Senior Center in the South Building, 920-232-5319. So I'm still learning my new number. But
I know exactly. Well, they can always call the 5300, 232-5300 and just ask for
Laura.
Exactly. So if somebody has an idea for a fundraiser or something that's worked out really well that they've seen.
Want to get involved with the Friends of the Oshkosh Senior Center or our advisory board for the Oshkosh Senior Center. That group of individuals helps with oversight of our operations, and so we're always in need of volunteers of all different talents and capacities and skills. So certainly we'll have a new volunteer coordinator that will help with that, but I'm always hoping to connect people with the community with things that they'd like to be involved with.
And you do end up working very closely with volunteers as well, in your role. So tell us a little bit about your past fundraising and marketing experiences.
Well,
thrilled to have you,
recently,
I should say.
I worked with the older adult population in Fond du Lac with Lutheran Homes and Health Services and the foundation there. I assisted with a $2 million capital campaign. And prior to that, I worked in Oshkosh for a short time at the Boys and Girls Club of Oshkosh, also in a fundraising capacity. So I really just have a passion for being able to give my time and talents to enrich the communities that I'm connected to, enrich the populations that are in need of services. Just making those connections is just a rewarding position to be in, and I'm happy to be a part of the great team in Oshkosh.
Well, good. We're thrilled to have you too. So what exactly is going to be your role? And I'm sure you're still trying to figure some of this out, but you're not going to be necessarily the person running all over at the events, doing all these other things. But I think we're hoping to kind of move you into a little bit different role.
Well, move me and the Oshkosh Senior Center. So over time we've developed, as all nonprofits do, from a lot of fundraisers to hopefully paring down that number of fundraisers and asking for more individual and business support so that we're able to really make the most of all the dollars that are coming in and give them right back to the seniors and to the programming. So hopefully grant writing, I've done a lot of grant writing, and so hoping to look for some new partnerships and collaborations with our organization and other community organizations, and how we can enrich multiple layers, intergenerational activities for all of the Oshkosh community.
And it really is going to be fun to watch us grow even more, and you know, to explore some new avenues for revenue, but also then, you know, different ideas that, like I said, that you might have and bring with.
Well, the baby boomer population is going to explode.
Yes,
and
we know that, don't we?
turning an age that they can utilize our services. And so we're going to continue to need to grow in capacity to meet their needs. As that population grows, we want to be able to stretch our programs and stretch our opportunities so that it meets the needs of the population as it continues to grow and change and evolve.
Right. So somebody hears this and they're passionate, or they care about the seniors of our community. Can they be a friend at any age, or do you have to be over the age of 50 to be a friend? And to be a friend is really being a financial supporter. Is
Right.
really what it is.
Right. We're looking for friends of all ages.
Right.
We can never have enough friends, and the minimum support is something I think that most people can afford annually, $20 minimum gift in order to become a friend. And up from there, but anyone at any age can be a friend of the Senior Center. We were just talking about that this morning, that our senior population is in need of support and connections, just like Andrea was speaking to, that you can connect with seniors and you can connect with each other at any age. So that's part of our programming and what we hope to do.
Well, and as a community, it just makes the whole community better if we are more intertwined and, you know, not have all these separate groups, because it really does impact all of us. And like you said, the number of seniors over the next 20 years is going to just explode. And we got to kind of be ready for that as a community.
Right. And what they are going to want to do and have available for them at their senior center.
Right.
I mean, really, the senior center is a community entity. It's something for everyone to take part of, and so we want to be able to ensure that we're offering things that the next generation of seniors coming up is going to want to be a part of. So, you
know, we talked about that, and can we say senior activity center, because that really better describes all the things that we have going on, and ways in which we do try to enrich the lives. And we all know that as people age, it is critical to try and stay healthy. You know, we want to keep people in their homes as long as we can, and we want to help them age healthy so there aren't a lot of issues. And that's
not only benefits them, it benefits the whole community.
Exactly.
In the healthcare cost savings, and just being able to allow them to keep giving back to the community. There's a huge population of people with skills and talents and resources that the longer we keep them engaged, the more they're offering that back to the community. So.
Exactly. Well, Laura, I'm really looking forward to working on some fundraisers with you. We have, like you said, a couple of big ones coming up, or that we know are planned for the year. And then we've got a little smaller ones. And we, in general, have a lot going on at the Oshkosh Senior Center all the time. And so you and I are going to kind of just share a little bit about the upcoming events at the Oshkosh Senior Center. So let's get started. All right, starting with, in our fabulous wood shop, we have our spring bird carving class coming up. And that is going to start on Thursdays, February 5th till May 22nd from 8 to 11 in the morning. And the cost is $12 plus the daily user fee, and it's either $1.25 or $1.75 if you're a resident or a non-resident.
All right, and Family Art Fund. This is a new program offered to, like we said, all of the generations. So you can bring your whole family to the Senior Center. The art is going to be focused on the winter tree. It's Saturday, January 24th from 10 to 11 a.m. There is a cost of $15 plus a user fee for adults and $10 for ages 5 to 16. We are asking for registrations by Friday, January 16th, but this is a great event to bring the whole family.
It really is, and like you said, that is something new that we're offering, and we are excited to be able to open it up to more than just seniors, so, you know, grandparents can bring their grandkids, but it is critical that people do call and register so that we know we have enough to make the class go, and we know how much supplies and things like that to get. All right, so we also have a class coming up on effective communication. Learn ways to talk to people that you care about. And this goes back to Andrea and her group discussions. Group discussions with Andrea, and that one will be on Friday, January 9th at 1 p.m. And you can call to find out what the February topic will be. But oftentimes there are conversations that need to take place that are difficult, and sometimes we all need some coaching as to how to do that. And that's what this one will be about on January 9th.
That's this Friday.
It is.
Home Sweet Home. We have a program where you can learn occupational therapy exercises that will allow you to stay in your home longer, as we mentioned. This one's Wednesday, January 14th at 12 p.m. There'll be a light lunch served, and we are asking for registration by January 9th so that we can plan for lunch. And it is sponsored by North Point Medical and Rehabilitation Center.
Excellent. And of course, we have another session starting of Senior Connects. And Senior Connects is an intergenerational program where we have partnered with Oshkosh North High School. And the students come over and they come either on a Tuesday or a Thursday and teach seniors technology. So whether you have an iPad or a Chromebook or a laptop or a desktop or a phone, what we want to do is have you know how to use that technology so that you can stay connected with your family and your friends, because we know that isolation and seniors kind of go together and we want to avoid that. So these kids, it's a phenomenal program. We are full, but we are taking, if you just have a real short thing that you want to try to learn, we are taking reservations for those kinds of situations. So like a one-shot deal or a two-shot deal, just call the Senior Center and they will put you in touch with me, and then we'll get you slotted in an open spot.
All right. Steps to Avoiding Scams is Wednesday, January 21st. It's at 10 a.m. and it's presented by Dennis Ashauer, Certified Senior Advisor. And we know this is something that is always to be educated about and be aware of. So good program to learn more about what to watch out for.
Exactly. And it is that time of year again, time for winter games. Da, 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 da. And those will be taking place in February, but we do want to have people register ahead of time. So the winter games will actually be Tuesday, February 24th, Thursday, February 26th, and Friday, February 27th, with a fabulous chili lunch on the 26th. But we do ask that people pick up registration forms and register. Those forms will be available starting January 19th, both in the North and the South building at the desks.
All right, and the Coffee House Music Evening. This is a new event for us, Saturday, February 14th from 6 to 7:30 p.m., so it's an evening event. And celebrating Valentine's Day, you can come out and have some music and coffee in our coffee house atmosphere. The music is by Bob, Sonia, and Bobby Wordle. And there is no cost to attend. We're just asking for donations to give as you're able, but please register by February 12th so we can account for how many people to expect. But it sounds like a wonderful evening and a way to spend Valentine's Day.
Right,
Not necessarily with your sweetheart, but it's something to do.
Right, and you don't need to be a couple by any means to come to that, and that was
just
part of the
night of
reason to do
music
it.
and coffee.
Exactly.
And then finally, we talked a little bit about our Murder Mystery Dinner. That's a new event that the Friends of the Oshkosh Senior Center are organizing. The proceeds do benefit the Oshkosh Senior Center. It's Friday, March 13th at the Best Western Premier Ballroom. 5:30 p.m. there'll be a cash bar, 6:30 p.m. dinner and theater. The theater is going to be provided by Oshkosh Playing Around. So the Murder Mystery Theater dinner is $40 a person, and tickets are available January 15th.
And that should actually be a really fun night.
On Friday the 13th?
Yes, exactly, exactly. All right, so those are all the things that we have coming up, that and more actually, at the Oshkosh Senior Center. So please check out our newsletter, The Current, and check us out. Come on down and see what we have going on. We'd love to see you. Thank you so much for watching Senior Savvy. See you next time.